Bruce here, Speaking Lifestyle. Today we're going to talk about your speaker demo reel. Obviously, video's king in terms of you getting hired on a stage, so you need to actually work on your speaker demo reel. You need to have a good one, a great one, an amazing one, however you want to describe it. But we're going to talk about your speaker demo reel. So let's see who's hopping on real quick. And let's answer some questions. By the way, guys, if you have any questions, make sure you ask the questions now, and then I'm going to come back to the questions later on when we're done. So let's see. All right. So we got about 20 billion people who just hopped on. Cool. We're good to go. All right, so today, like I said, it's going to be all about your speaker demo reel. So what's up, everybody who's hopping on? And I want to reiterate that if you guys have any questions, make sure you ask the questions right now. Whenever they pop into your head, just ask the question, and then I'll come back to them after I'm done with this. So it's just about the speaker demo reel. So in the email today, it's like what I said. People don't believe you. So you want to get hired as a speaker. You're trying to be the greatest speaker in the world. People don't believe you when you send them an email, when you talk to them on the phone. No matter what it is you say, they just don't believe you. You can say, I'm the greatest speaker in the world. You can say it's interactive, it's entertaining, it's engaging. You tell a lot of stories. You can do whatever you want. People just don't believe you. And so that's the purpose of your video. That's the purpose of your demo, is to show the overall experience of you, of hiring you specifically, not a speaker, but you. And so when you truly get this through your head that people just don't believe you, it's easy for you to think video is everything, because you just got to think in terms of how do you actually hire, or how do you actually pay somebody for anything? So let's say you're trying to hire a videographer, you're trying to hire a photographer. What do? You want to actually see what they do. You want to see their work. So if they send you an Instagram message, let's say it's a videographer sends you an Instagram message. He says, hey, I see that you're a motivational speaker. You're amazing, Benji Bruce. Oh my goodness, you're amazing. I would love to film videos for you. I would love to create a demo for you. And then he's like, I am an amazing videographer. I mean, I've done work for Steven Spielberg, Christopher Nolan. I mean, these guys are scrubs compared to me. I mean, I've done a ton of work as a videographer. I'd love to do stuff for you. And we're just going to create a bomb-ass video, right? And then I go to his page, and let's say there's nothing on the page. No videos, no nothing. There's no website that he has. No video, no nothing. I'm thinking in my head, what the hell? Like, I don't believe you. There's no way you're that good. You can't be good if you don't have video footage. And so you have to think that people are doing the same thing to you. In fact, don't think of it. That's literally what people are doing. They're doing the exact same thing to you. They're saying, all right, you send them an email, you're reaching out to events. They're thinking the same way. And that's why you got to think your website is essentially number one, because your website, it includes everything. It's the pictures, the videos, the text, it's everything. It's just the overall look, right? The video is essentially the number one thing on your website, because the video literally demonstrates how you are at an event. A book, podcast, none of that stuff, it translates into them visualizing you at their event. And this is why, like, when speakers say in an email, like, let me send you a copy of my book, or things like that, I'm an author, or things like that, it doesn't matter. It literally does not matter, because they understand, like, hey, we're doing an annual employee event. This is our Christmas party. We're doing this annual employee event. We don't care if you wrote 100 books and all of them are bestsellers. We don't care if you made $1 billion off your books. Are you going to be good in front of a crowd? Like, we have 500 people here who are going to attend this event. Are they going to laugh? Are they going to be entertained? That's all they care about. That's why I keep telling speakers, it doesn't matter if you have a book or not. It literally doesn't matter, because people want to see what you're like on a stage. And so the purpose of the video is literally just to get people to visualize you at that event, to visualize the overall experience of you at their event. That's why you combine the presentation with the video testimonials, everything, because when they see the presentation, like little clips of your presentation, you're up there like, hey, blah, 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 you're telling a story. Then they see like a video testimonial. A person's like, oh my goodness, that was amazing. Holy crap, that was just so fun. And they see that. In the person's mind who's looking at this video trying to hire you, they're saying, that's the reaction I'm going to get. When I hire this person, I'm going to get that type of reaction. People are going to flip out over this speaker because, I mean, oh my goodness, right? So they're visualizing you at that event. And this can actually work against you in your favor. Well, against you in your favor, two different things. This can actually work against you as well. If you have the wrong type of footage, it will be harder to get hired. And so this is what happened to me in the beginning, right? So in the beginning, I was just doing entertainment. That's literally all I did, was just the mentalism. I was doing the restaurants. And so I wanted to do more corporate work. I wanted to get hired by companies. I wanted to be on a stage. I had a stage show. I would do a stage show occasionally, but it was hard to get hired for a stage show. And no matter what I did, right? Like, I would talk to people, they'd be flat out amazed by the close-up stuff. Like, I mean, flat, just, oh my goodness, oh, well, like they'd be flat out amazed. And then they would say, oh, we love to bring you to our company party and you can just stroll around and do stuff. I'm like, oh, well, what about like a stage event? Like, what, do you guys have a stage? I can come up on stage. They're like, oh, you do that stuff? I'm like, what? Of course I do, right? And so it's one of those things where you have to truly think in terms of how are you going to get people to visualize you at their event. And Barry, actually. So Barry, a juggler friend of mine, Barry actually had a picture of a huge crowd, like freaking 10,000 people. It's like a stadium, right? So he had a picture of him juggling, him and his partner doing a juggling act in a huge freaking crowd. And he actually, I don't know if he lost the gig or almost lost the gig because the crowd was too big. Like literally that was the problem. Like the picture, it was too big. So the meeting planner was looking at it. They see Barry and his partner, this crowd of like 10,000 people, see a huge crowd, and they're thinking like, oh man, we're just having an event with 500 people. Like, I mean, just 500 people at a hotel. I mean, I don't know if you do that kind of thing. And I mean, it looks like you kind of do stadiums and stuff. So he almost lost a gig because he had the wrong picture on his website. I think he told me like he actually switched the picture on his website because of that. And so you have to assume that whatever you showcase on your website, your videos, all that sort of stuff, that's what people visualize you doing. And they take it literally, like literally. If you show a picture of you in front of 10,000 people, they will think that's the type of crowds that you cater to. And so if you're trying to get hired in the corporate world and you show that picture versus a picture inside of like a corporate setting where it's the round tables that they usually have, like the award banquets, round tables, there's about 500 people there. And so if you show that picture versus a stadium picture, that picture will probably work better. I mean, still, I'd probably want to test it because, I mean, a stadium picture, it does create that holy crap moment. But still, you just got to remember that people are trying to visualize you at the event. And so if you're doing college work, you obviously got to have pictures, videos of the college stuff. If you're doing corporate, you got to have pictures, videos of the corporate. You also have to think in terms of the size of the audience. So those are the things that you want to think about just with your videos, pictures, everything, to be honest, right? GM Benji. Cool. Yeah, and by the way, guys, remember, if you have any questions, make sure you ask the questions right now, because when I'm done with this, I'm just going to go through the questions if there are any. If there aren't, we're going to be done. If there are, then I'll answer all the questions. All right. So first things first, I want to answer the question of what do you do if you don't have video footage? So if you don't have video footage of you on a stage, what exactly do you do? In the beginning, I was like, well, you're pretty much screwed. Like that's what I thought about in the beginning. I was like, well, if you don't have footage, you're kind of screwed. Like, it's going to be so hard to get hired. There's kind of, I mean, you're literally kind of screwed at that point. But then I thought about it, and I came down to the whole thing of, if you guys look up Benji Bruce Inspirational, you'll see the video of me telling my story, right? And what happened is I just hired a videographer. He just came here to the high rise, and he just literally just recorded a lot of B-roll footage. And it was mostly like, literally, I just said my story. Like, literally, that's all I did. So, all right, I grew up as an entertainer, and then I went to a speaker, and then I built that business, and then and so on. And so I just told the story. And that is something you do if you don't have video footage, because, and by the way, I mean, I still had video footage, but I still created that video anyways. And so you can do that immediately. You can just pay someone $500, pay a videographer $500, and then bam, you instantly have a video that you can put on your website. You can create multiple ones of that. You can create 2, 3, 4, 5 of those if you want. I mean, you probably want to make it a little bit different, but still, you can just create a simple about me story. But it has to look good, though. This is why you want to hire a videographer, because the videographer is going to create that cool B-roll footage. Like, he'll get a close-up of your hands, all sorts of cool shots, right? So you really want to hire a videographer for sure. But in terms of if you don't have video footage, you got to be really creative with how you actually get your videos, how you create your demo video. So one, it can be that simple about me one. Two, you're going to obviously have to speak for free. There's no doubt about that. Not only will you probably have to speak for free, well, not only will you have to speak for free, but you probably will have to pay someone to be on their stage so you can get video footage. In the beginning, it's not about you getting paid. In the beginning, it's about you getting the right materials for your website so you can get paid. That's what you have to do in the beginning. So in the beginning, like if I was literally starting from scratch, first things first, I'd get the website up. It'd be a one-page website. Then I'd hire a videographer, pay him $500, film a simple about me type of video. I'd get that set up. I'd get it set up in like a week, right? The thing that would take time is really the videographer. The website, it gets set up really, really fast. But then I get that video, the about me type of video. After that, I contact mofos like crazy, right? I'd be like, hey, man, I see that you're doing this conference. By the way, I'd contact conferences because conferences are open to being sponsored, right? So I'd contact conferences. I'd be like, hey, I'd be willing to pay, I'd be willing to sponsor your event as long as you give me 15 minutes on stage, right? Or 15, 20 minutes on stage. And at that point, I would pay whoever says yes. I'd do my presentation, even if it didn't make sense, by the way. So let's say I contacted, I don't know, let's see, an event. I'm trying to think of different like industries, like an industry that doesn't, let's say like the hair industry, right? So I contact like the hair industry. And let's say my topic is marketing. So, well, marketing applies to everything. But all right, so let's just say motivation, right? Motivation still applies to everything. But still, let's say I contact a hair industry. I'd ask them, hey, can I sponsor your event? And I'll come do a 15-minute, 20-minute presentation, right? I'd go on stage and I would do my presentation as if I were hired by a big company like Google doing a big presentation for them. I wouldn't care about the reaction of the people at that conference, to be honest. I mean, well, I care somewhat. Like, of course I care because I want the video testimonials too. But some of the things that I would say would be, well, 80% of what I would say would be more for the video that I'm getting, the video footage that's being recorded, right? So that's essentially what I would do. I would contact a ton of different events and I'd say, hey, let me sponsor your event. That way I can get some video footage and everything like that. And I'd ask them if they could film it as well. I'd be like, hey, can you film this thing? Give me a copy of it. I'd ask, everything would be about video in the beginning. That's literally what I do in the beginning if you don't actually have money. I mean, if you don't actually have video footage. Now, after you get the footage, at that point, it's just a matter of actually just compiling it together. One of the questions I was asked is, what if you have old footage? So like 2019, let's say your footage is back in 2000. Let's say your footage is standard definition. It's not even 720, right? It's not even HD at all. It's just 480 or something like that. It's just horrible looking footage. Basically, you want to use what you have. So it doesn't matter if your footage is old. It doesn't matter if you're freaking 40 years old and back when you were 20, you were on TV. It doesn't really matter. You use what you have until you can replace it. That's how you need to think. So in the beginning, like I said, what people are trying to do, they're just trying to see some of your video to see what are you like on a stage. Like when we bring you in, what exactly are you like? So that's what they're looking for. That's why the quality of the video doesn't matter as much in the beginning. Eventually, of course, you have to replace it. You want to replace it. That's what you're going to focus on. But remember, you use what you have. You just want to be really resourceful. It's not about making excuses. This is a problem with a lot of speakers is they make excuses. They're like, I don't have updated video footage or anything like I don't have video footage. It's like, well, you don't have any video footage? Like you telling me you've been speaking for 20 years, you don't have nothing? It's like, come on now, come on, man. And so in reality, what they're saying is I don't have any updated footage. Like I have footage back from 10 years ago. Use that footage until you can get new footage. You need to get into the habit of recording damn near all your presentations. No matter how big, small the event is, record almost all of them and you don't have to use them. So it's like when I was actually telling my mom this, like in terms of recording content. I was like, yeah, just record, because she's like, I'm horrible on camera, right? So I was like, well, in order to get better, you just keep doing it over and over and over again. Like you have to just take out your phone, just start recording. And so you can record every single day. I was like, take out your phone, record every single day. You don't have to post it. Nobody has to see it, but you do it as if you were to post it. The same goes with you recording your presentations. You record all of them as if you were to use the footage. because you never know. I mean, for all you know, maybe one day you'll end up using the footage, but you record all your presentations no matter what. So even if you have old footage, you use it anyways at this point. Once again, guys, I want to remind you, if you have any questions, make sure you ask, and I will come back to those questions in just a second. All right, so let's talk real quick about the structure of a demo. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a quick demo by this guy. I was looking for his demo for the longest time because years ago when I was trying to create my demo, I saw this guy's demo. I was like, that is one of the coolest demos I've ever seen in my life. And this was like 7 years ago or more, right? Or actually, no, it was more than 7 years ago. It was way more than 7 years ago, right? And so I saw his demo. I was like, damn, that looks cool as hell. Nowadays, I mean, of course, he'd want to update it because it was way back in the day. But still, the structure of his demo is probably the best structure I've ever seen, ever. Like, it's just smart as all hell. Ultimately, there's no rule to your demo video. There's like no rules to the structure of a demo video. And so inside the Speak Pro Academy, there is like a structure that I have laid out that you guys can follow, but still there's no rules to it. It's more like a guideline. So it's more like, here's what happens. Like in the beginning, you do this, and then you have a pattern interrupt, and then you do this, and then you do that. So it's more like a guideline, but there is no technical structure to it, right? And so in your demo video, what I notice with a lot of speakers, what they tend to do is they don't get to the point. And what I mean by that is they don't get to the best stuff first. So what happens is you see them, let's say they're sitting down like this, right? And they're telling their story. Like, yeah, so I grew up as an entertainer and we were like broke and all that. And then finally, like a minute in, bam, you see all this footage of TV appearances, huge crowds, people react, oh my goodness, that was amazing. And you see all the cool footage like a minute in, right? And so people don't show that in the beginning. You need to show that type of stuff in the beginning, especially nowadays. Like, remember, people are strapped for time. Like, people are like, hey, hurry the hell up. So you want to show the best stuff in the beginning. It's not about like showing it last and all. You show the best stuff in the beginning. All of it should be great, but still get to the freaking point. Like, don't sit there. Don't have your title introduction. In fact, the video I'm going to show you with the guy who has the best structure, he didn't actually have a title introduction on his video, but when it was uploaded by these guys, they actually put a titled introduction, probably just to promote themselves. But ultimately, you don't want to do what I'm about to show you. You want to do after that title introduction. So like a lot of people, I don't know if you guys know what I mean, but it's like, let's say they just click play, and then instead of just starting, like instead of just seeing a crowd of people reacting or a testimony or something, instead of that, it just shows like Benji Bruce, motivational speaker, and it just writes it out. And it's like, why don't you just like get to the point? Like, just really just get to the point from the get-go. So I want to show you this guy's video. His name is Greg Wilson. He's actually an entertainer, a magician. And the reason why his demo video is so good is because it's a story. So the beginning part and the end part is a story. The middle part is like a normal demo. So the middle part is like he shows the clips of people reacting, testimonials, him performing, all that sort of stuff. The middle part is just the same as everybody else's stuff. The beginning and the ending is just freaking brilliant, like absolutely brilliant. Goes perfect with his brand. His brand is basically, I'm a magician con artist, right? So that's like his brand. It's like like he's a magician con artist. So when you hire him for a show, he's not just going to do a regular magic show. It's going to be more about here's how he cons people. And so that's the purpose of this. So let me show you this real quick. So first, let me show you. I'll show you this, the title. This is the title that I'm talking about that you don't want to do. So look at that title. So that's the stuff that you don't want to do, right? It's kind of like, what's the point? Like, why are you doing that? Like, what's the point? Now, let me increase the volume, make sure this volume's up. I'm going to show you guys this. And watch the introduction. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. It's 7 minutes long. I'm just going to show you the intro, and I'm going to show you the outro, and you'll be able to see the middle as well. Just watch this. Okay, so that was the beginning. Now it gets into him performing the testimonials logos. Now let me show you the ending of it. Let's go to the end. All right, there we go. Now here's the ending. Now, I thought that was like one of the most brilliant things ever in terms of a demo video. Like, notice how it went perfectly with his brand as a con artist. Started out, you see this magician pull up in a Ferrari, like, oh my goodness, this dude's in a Ferrari, baller status. And then all of a sudden you see the whole demo. It's like, all right, you see the people reacting, oh my goodness, you see him performing all that sort of stuff. Then at the end, he goes to return the car. You see it's a rent-a-car, and then he's waiting on the bus, right? And that goes perfect with the con artist brand. When I saw that, I was like, God damn, that's a good demo, right? And so, and then of course, like in the middle is just all the performing. Of course, he gets great reactions. He's a great entertainer. But that to me is the best structure because it's a story. He's telling a story throughout his entire demo. The story of, oh, this entertainer comes in, he's the con artist guy with a Ferrari, and then at the end he's waiting on a bus. He just conned you and all that stuff. So he's telling a story. Everyone knows how important stories are. Everybody knows like stories keep people's attention. I think the only thing that I probably would have done differently is maybe try to figure out how to include a story throughout the entire demo. So remember, it was just the beginning part and the end part. The middle was pretty much the same as everybody else's demo, but the beginning part and the end part, that was the story. And so if I would have tried to figure out how do you create the story throughout the entire thing, like that would have been the best way to do it. But still, like that demo, I saw that years ago. I was like, damn, that's cool. And so if you can create a story demo, that's what you want to do. You can create something very simple. Notice how simple that was. You hire a videographer. He'll do B-roll shots like you walking, that sort of stuff. He does simple stuff like that. You can create a simple story. Ultimately, if the structure of your demo is really simple. It's basically you can create that story in the beginning, but the middle is you have footage of you presenting and video testimonials. That's pretty much it. Then it just comes down to how you do it, like how you go about it. So let me show you this. So it's just a matter of getting your video guy to do cool stuff in your demo video. So like this is let me find this part. All right, so this is one of my old demos, and I'm going to show you guys this in just a second. So I'm going to show you my old demo, and so like what I did with a friend is like he was just filming me. It was just at his place, and then we just had a white background, and we were doing simple stuff. Like I'm just like doing stuff like that, right? And he's just filming B-roll. And so in this demo, we did simple pattern interrupts that we had within the demo video. And so let me show you this. So let's do this. Let's back up a little bit.
All right. You do anything you just did. Amazing, wonderful, awesome job. Way to go, Benji. No one has ever made my job drop to the phone like that before.
So little things like that in your demo that kind of break the pattern, you can do that. That's what I recommend inside of your demo, because remember, when people are watching your demo video, when people are watching any type of video, if it stays the same throughout, then people will naturally lose attention. It doesn't matter how good it is, people will naturally lose attention. And so this is why the stories are the best, because the stories, it just keeps their attention throughout. But still, if you're not doing a story, if it's just like clips, like if it's a clip and then a testimonial clip, you want to have little pattern interrupts like what I showed you there, where I'm just sitting, boom, and then like a matrix effect, right? So little things like that will naturally keep people's attention. But ultimately, if you can combine it into a story, I mean, you'll have a freaking golden demo. Like, I think the next demo we create, maybe that's something that I'll think about, like in terms of how to actually create this story. It's really important that you don't overthink this, though. A lot of speakers tend to overthink their demo. They're like, all right, I need some examples of good demos, right? I see that all the time. Like, people will post inside of a speaker group or something. Like, I need some examples of other speaker demos, right? It doesn't really matter in terms of like the other speakers, because almost every demo is literally the same. It's just video clip and then testimonial and then logos and then some other stuff, right? It's just a matter of how your videographer edits the thing. That's all it really comes down to. You have to get a video now, like literally get a video now. If you can't afford to hire a videographer, you simply just take clips of you doing your presentation and just have one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. Mix a clip of you speaking on stage for 10 seconds, combine it with a video testimonial, then a clip of you speaking on stage, a clip of you on the stage, video testimonial, clip of you on the stage. That's it. Don't do any transitions, like none of the fancy zoom in, zoom out transitions, none of the fancy text like you just saw in my demo. Don't do any of that. Keep it simple if you are not a videographer. Trust me on this one, because if you try to edit it, it will look bad. It will look like you edited your video. That's literally what's going to happen. They're going to be like, this doesn't look like a $15,000 speaker, right? On the other hand, if it's just one clip after another, they can't really tell. Like, there's nothing there to say like, hey, this is a bad video. Like, there's nothing there to say that. So it's better to just have a simple video than to create a bad edited video. So that's why I keep telling people, like, don't do any fancy editing. No titles, no nothing, no fancy stuff, right? That's all you're really doing. All right, so ultimately, you want to hire videographers. So I mentioned this before. If you hire a good videographer, a great videographer, 99% of your problem with your demo video is solved. Literally. Like, you should spend most of your time looking for a great videographer. Like the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller, the book that I tell everybody to read. In the book, he's like, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, it will make everything else easier or unnecessary, right? And so the one thing to do with your demo video is hire a videographer, a great videographer, because here's what you do. If you're thinking about a demo, you're like, how do I structure it? How do I make a good demo? Let me ask other speakers, like, how do you structure your demo? You're thinking too much. On the other hand, if you're like, the one thing that I need to do is just hire a great videographer, you spend most of your time doing that. Your videographer is thinking about all the stuff that he needs to be thinking about. The videographer is like, so how am I going to combine these clips to make it look cool? What type of B-roll footage are we going to get? Let's make sure the audio is good. The videographer, that's his job to think of all that stuff. All you literally have to do is just say, let me hire a bomb-ass video guy, and the video guy do the rest. So like there's a video guy that I was working with. I still need to work with him more, Tony, actually. So Tony, he was actually creating a lot of the video content, like the cool video content with the music and all that stuff for Speaking Lifestyle and the Benji Bruce brand. So he was creating all that. And so my job was literally, hey, Tony, create something cool. Like, I was like, here's the clips. Do your magic. And then he just did his magic. Like, literally, it was just like, he showed me the video. I'm like, all right, cool, looks great. That's what happens when you hire a videographer, like a great videographer. You're just like, all right, here's some clips. Do what you do. And then you don't have to think about it anymore. So that's why it's really important to do that. To hire videographers, you can go to Instagram. I really recommend Instagram because you can see clips on their Instagram page right now. So I recommend Instagram. You can obviously get recommendations as well, but so I really, really recommend Instagram. You can go to things like Upwork and stuff, but once again, Instagram, I really, really recommend Instagram because you can literally see their clips. And so at that point, it's just a matter of you want to see a lot of the video work that they do. And so you're kind of doing research on them the same way people do research on you as a speaker. So it's like you're looking at their Instagram, you look at their website and all that sort of stuff, and you don't want to do things like, let's say you go to Upwork and you're like, well, what work have you done? Show me an example. They can literally just take any example. They can freaking take David Copperfield's demo video and say, I did this. even though they haven't. They can just, I did this, I edited this thing. And so that's what can happen. On the other hand, if you truly research them, like you're looking on Instagram and looking at their website and everything like that, and you see that they're actually working, like you see stories of them, like in a place where they have a video set up and all that, now you're like, okay, I believe it. There was actually one guy, he was so good. I didn't believe that his videos were his videos. Like literally, because it was also a combination of what he charged with the quality of videos that he had. I was like, hey man, what do you charge for video stuff? Because I looked at his Instagram, I'm like, damn, like that's some impressive stuff, right? And I looked at his website, and on his website it was like some impressive ass videos. I'm like, damn. And then he was like, oh, it's only $500. I was like, huh, $500? Really? And so like it was one of those where the price it didn't match like the quality, like his quality versus the price. I'm like, what the hell? Like you should be saying $5,000, not $500. And so it's one of the things where you just want to like really do your research on it. Just so happens that they were his videos. He was just underpricing himself. So ultimately, if you can find a guy like that who underprices himself, that'd be even better. But still, most of your problems will be solved simply by getting a great videographer. Ultimately, when it comes down to your video, the way you're going to use your video is literally put it on your website. That's what you got. Put it on your website. Do not send people YouTube links. Like, don't send YouTube links. Like, when you're reaching out to events, you're trying to get hired, you have your great demo, you have it structured, a story, however you want to structure your videographer. He does the magic for you. You have all that. You put it on your website, and then you send the link to your website. You do not send a link to YouTube. I'm telling you, I crushed a lot of speakers because I knew what they were doing. I knew they were putting their demos on. Well, everyone puts their demos on YouTube, but I knew they were sending links to their YouTube channel, to the YouTube video. So what I did a while ago is I created a YouTube ad with my demo video. So when they would actually send their demo video, a link to their demo, an ad would pop up. Just so happens the ad was my demo video. And so I actually got hired like that pretty often. It was kind of funny, to be honest. It was almost like people are doing the marketing for me because they would send a YouTube link and it just so happens my ad was there. And then on top of that, it also the ad on the right side of the page. So like, so let's go back here. It's like usually here on the right side over here, there's like an ad over here. And so my stuff would pop up. That's what you don't want to have happen. When you are marketing you don't want to post something on YouTube, send them to YouTube, then they see on the right side another freaking demo video. They see someone else's demo. It says, greatest motivational speaker in the world. They're like, huh. And then they click on it, right? And then they see that. They're like, oh, this person's even better. And then they contact that person. So do not send people to YouTube. I can't stress that enough. Like every speaker that I talk with, damn near everyone keeps doing it. For you Speak Pro Academy members, stop doing that. Like I want to pimp slap you guys. I keep seeing you guys doing that. I'm going to pimp slap you guys next time. Like stop sending people to YouTube because you'll have marketing savvy people like me who will take advantage of it 100%. Like I create ads, everything. I'm like, sure, they're doing my marketing for me. So that's what happens. Like don't put it on YouTube. All right. And so obviously you're going to feature the video on your homepage. It's going to be big. Like make sure it's a big video. They can see it. So do that. If you're going to feature it multiple times on your homepage, you're simply going to create a different thumbnail for like multiple times. That way, if they see the big video, there's one thumbnail, then they see another video. It looks like a different video, but it has the same thumbnail. So you do that as well. And then just do what I said, right? Pay for ads on top of other speakers' videos. That's what you want to do because, like I said, speakers, they're not doing this. Speakers are sending YouTube links, and then you can just pay for an ad, and then bam, you appear before they do. And they're literally doing marketing for you. All right, you want to understand that having a video alone doesn't get you booked. You still have to do outreach. So you have to still reach out to events. You have to keep contacting them nonstop all day, every day. And then you send them to your website. The website has your demo video, and then your demo video, they're like, oh my goodness, greatest speaker alive. And then they hire you. All right. So that's literally the process in terms of your demo video. All right. So Ari, post that link inside the group. I can't actually click on it here. Let's see. Let me go back. All right. So let's see if there are any questions. If there's any questions, make sure you ask them now or forever hold your peace. All right, so let's see. John said, how long should the video be? There is no rule to this in terms of how long it should be. It's just however long it needs to be. I mean, however long you can keep their attention. If you can create a freaking 30-minute demo video, create a 30-minute demo video that keeps their attention. If it's 3 minutes, create a 3-minute one. There is no length. It's just a matter of can you actually keep their attention throughout the entire time? And so that's all you're really thinking about. Let's see. A few minutes ago, I sent you an email with video clips. All right. So Sherry said you have a specific layout in your ebook about your video. Is this what we should follow exactly? So like I said, there is no rule. There's simply guidelines. So the actual layout that I have in the book and in the Speak Pro Academy, that little like grid that I have, there's no such thing as following it exactly. All you do is literally like it's like making a movie, right? In a movie, sure, there are guidelines, like in terms of telling a story, like it's all about the character. You focus on the character. The character has to have flaws. And so it's like things like that with the guideline. But there isn't any one way to create a movie. And so the same goes with a demo. There isn't any one way to do it. If everybody followed the guideline that I laid out, everybody's demo would look the exact same. They'd be like, what the heck? And that's actually what happens with a lot of speakers. They tend to just copy my stuff, like literally to the T. They try to copy it, and it doesn't make any sense. So what you want to do is you simply look at your brand. You're like, all right, like the Greg Wilson guy, his brand is a con artist, so his demo video is going to be some type of con. If you're going to, like, I would never do that in terms of what he did with the Ferrari. I think it's funny as all hell. I think it's brilliant as all hell, but I would never do that because it doesn't go with my brand. Like my brand isn't the con artist type of brand, so it's not that. So it wouldn't make sense for me to pull up in a Ferrari and then at the end of the video, it's a rent-a-car and I'm taking the bus. That wouldn't make any sense whatsoever, even though I think it's amazing. It's funny as all hell, damn near like one of the best stories I've seen in a demo video. But still, that type of thing is like what you want to think about in terms of how do you make a demo video just for you. There isn't any one way to do it. It's more of a guideline to show you like what to think about. So it's more like here are clips, here's the demo, or here's the video testimonials, and then at a certain point, people's attention is going to start to leave, so you got to have a pattern interrupt. And so that's what the whole layout is for, is to get you kind of thinking about the layout a little bit more. All right, so you said 2 minutes. So in terms of the length of the videos, once again, there is no rule to the length. Like the guy Greg Wilson, his demo video was like 7 minutes long, and the dude was booked up like a mofo. I mean, $10,000 minimum for presentations. Dude was booked up like crazy, right? So then he had a 7-minute demo. So there is no length whatsoever. So let's see. Bill said, should you have video from several presentations? Yeah, ideally you want to have a video from several presentations, but once again, don't overthink it. If you only have one video footage, like one presentation, use that and just combine it into multiple different, like just take clips from the beginning part of your presentation, the middle part of your presentation, the end part of your presentation, combine it into one thing. You can do that. Create your first video like that. As you get more video footage, you now start to combine videos from when you did a presentation in December, then when you did a presentation in January, and when you did a presentation in June. And so you combine all that footage into one. Ultimately, what you're doing is just like with your website. In the beginning, it always sucks. Like no matter what, in the beginning, it sucks. And then eventually you just keep improving it as time goes on. So that's what you're doing with your video as well. In the beginning, you're only going to have video footage from one freaking presentation, like just one. But you use that. You milk it as much as possible. That's what you do in the beginning. And so as time goes on, you're going to get more, and then you'll naturally have more video footage, right? And then on top of that, so I mentioned this a while ago to one of the Speak Pro members. I was like, what you can do is you can actually make it look like you have more video footage than what you actually do. So let's say you only have video footage of you at one event, like just one event. That's it. You have video footage at one event. You have the video testimonies because you were smart enough to get the video testimonies. You're a Speak Pro member, so you're like, Benji says video testimonies. Let me get video testimonies. So you're smart enough to do that as well. So now you have some video testimonies. You have footage of you at that one event. What you simply do at that point is you can have, let's say, a 10-minute video, like let's say the best 10 minutes of your presentation. Take that. That's one video. Then you take another video and you have, you create a 3-minute quick clip type video, like 15 seconds here, 20 seconds there, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. So you like create quick clips, like jump clips of the best parts, people laughing, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's people laughing. Then you do that again with other clips from the presentation again. And before you know it, it's like you have freaking 3-4 videos just from the one presentation. And then you take all the testimonials from that one event, you put them all into one testimonial. Then let's say you got 10 of them, you put all 10 into one video. Then you take each one of those and you split them up. 1 video, 2 video, 3 video, 4, and now you have 10 videos, 10 separate video testimonials, one long one. So now you have 11 video testimonials. Then you combine 2 and 2 together. So maybe here you have 3 video testimonials. Here you have 4 of them. And so you combine it like that. Before you know it, out of 10 video testimonials, you have like freaking 20 or probably even more, freaking 40 videos on your page, and it looks like you did a lot, right? And on top, remember, people aren't clicking on every single video on your page. So on top of that, it looks like you did a lot. You have a lot of video footage. Then on top of that, you change the thumbnail images on each and every one. So once again, the videos look different on each and every one. That's what you do in the beginning. You will naturally look like you have a freaking million videos, even though you only did one presentation. That's the smart way to go about it in the beginning. All right. So let's see. It's a long one. All right. So Ari said, told a friend of mine, I'll be in London. Asked him out if he had contacts there. He copied me on 3 emails that he sent out to people that he knows. One to a guy who works at a major brokerage company, one to a major bank, one to a major law firm. This was the email he sent. All right, Ari, please meet Adrian. Adrian Cohen, must be Jewish, partner at so-and-so and a big activist in the community. All right, Adrian, meet Ari, a dear friend of mine, super speaker with a very powerful message and story. Check him out here. I highly recommend him. He could speak to the entire firm, not just network. All right, cool. Yep, perfect. All right, what should the next step be? All right, what do you think the next step should be? All right, so you tell me, what do you think the next step should be? So let's see. Ari said, when you say record all the presentations, are you talking about audio or video? I'm talking about video. So always do video. There's no reason just to do audio. Just always do video, because with video, you can strip the audio out. So like, even if you guys are doing a podcast, there's almost never a reason to just do audio. Like, there's never a reason just to record the audio version of your podcast. You want to record the video version and strip out the audio. So now you have a video you can post on YouTube, and you have the audio you can post on Libsyn and in the podcast stuff. So you always want to record the video. All right, let's see. Toy said, what do you think about paying PR to get on local news as an industry expert? There's no reason. If you're going to pay somebody, pay a virtual assistant to contact events for you. Well, first, you got to train them to do it. But if you're going to pay somebody, pay someone to generate sales, not to get you on TV. All a PR person is going to do is just send an email out to a producer. Like, literally, they're going to do something that you can easily do. Like, literally, that's all a PR person is going to do. They don't have these, like, so even if a PR person has a huge contact base, like let's say they know all the producers throughout the entire U.S. or throughout the entire world, it doesn't matter. And the reason it doesn't matter is because no matter how close that PR person is to a producer, the producer can't just let anybody on a show. The producer still has to think, well, is this what my audience wants? So even the PR person can be like, hey, man, my best friend literally owns Fox News. Like, they can literally say that. But the owner of Fox News, he's going to be like, well, I'm not going to put this person on Fox News because it has absolutely nothing to do with our audience. Like, what? Like that's what's going to happen. So a PR person, doesn't matter how well their contacts are, none of that. PR person is simply going to send out an email, make a call, literally do the exact same thing you could do. All they're really looking for in terms of TV is just a good story. So how exactly do you relate to them? So that's why, like I told Ari, so Ari, he was like in the building during 9/11. I told him, I was like, hey, man, during September, like every single September, every single year, you need to contact the TV producers and tell them like, hey, well, probably like October, like right before or no, that's after. So in August, you want to contact them, and so tell them like, hey, I'm a survivor of September 11th. I can come on the show like during September 11th, right? So that would actually get him booked on TV because he has a story that relates, type thing. So there's literally no reason to pay a PR person. PR will not get you booked on stages. Okay. It's really important that you understand this. It is good to have, like, it's great that you have all those video clips of you on your website, you on TV and all that on the website. It creates tons of credibility, but there's no reason to pay a PR person. Literally zero. All you have to do is just send an email, bam, you're good to go. For those of you Speak Pro Academy members, inside the resources section, there actually is a template in there that you can use to contact PR people, to contact the news producers. So just go there and you'll see that. So let's see. So Kathy said 7 minutes seems too long. It sure didn't seem too long with his bank account. I'm telling you, this guy was baller. This guy, it got him booked. So you got to understand that what you think and the reality of a situation are two different things. This is why I tell people, like, you got to stop having so many opinions, because almost always your opinions are wrong. So you got to think in terms of just do something, see how people respond to it. So when people like saying the video is too long, this guy like made millions off of that video. So I would rather have a 7-minute video, make millions off the video, than somebody tell me it's too long, right? So that's like, you got to think about that sort of stuff. It's not about how long it is, it's just about, can it keep people's attention? That's all it's about. So can you keep people's attention? That's all it is. So it's like what is it? Roots, right? So the movie Roots, what is that, like the longest movie ever, right? I mean, that thing is freaking long as all hell. It goes like through multiple generations, right? That movie's long as shiznit, but it kept people's attention. Like, it keeps people's attention like throughout the entire thing. Like, it's like, what is it, like 12 hours or something? Like, it's freaking ridiculous, right? You got to freaking, I remember with the VHS tapes, there was like freaking 5, 6 of those VHS tapes. The teacher would always like have to keep putting in a new one every single time, right? And so it's the same thing. It's not about how long something is, just can it keep your attention throughout the entire length? That's all it's about. So let's see. Elliot said, how can we make our videos more enticing for the event planners to click? Most people scroll down my main page, maybe click on the speaking topic or about page, then exit. Every time I have videos, people are rarely clicking. Well, to make them, that's actually a good question. To ultimately, this is what I meant when people go to your website and they scan your website, and then if they're like really interested, they'll start like looking. The reason people are doing that is because they're not in the mode of actually hiring you. Like, they're not there yet. So it's more like they're just looky-loos at this point. It's just like, all right, let's kind of look around, and all right. And it's more like a looky-loo. They're thinking, should I even save this person's information to begin with? You do the same thing to everybody. Like, you do exact same thing. When you read an email, you don't actually read that email first. You look to see, who is this from? If you know who it's from, then you're more likely to read it. If you don't, you scan it first. You're just like, all right, nope. And then bam, instant. On the other hand, let's say you get it, you don't know who it's from, you scan it, you're like, okay, actually, this is something I want to check out later. And then bam, you flag it to remember to look at it later. That's what people are doing with your website as well. So they're going to your website, they're scanning it, they're saying, all right, is this someone that we can actually bring in? Does he look like he's worth it? If the answer is yes, they'll say, all right, I'll come back to this thing later, right? That's what they're actually doing. And so the people who are actually going to hire you, those are the people who are going to click on it. You have to understand how numbers work. Like, when I say numbers, I mean how the sales numbers work. Basically, you contact 10,000 people, 7,000 people respond to you, 1,000 people are actually pretty interested. Let's see, 100 are actually like having a conversation with you. 10 of them actually look at your videos, and 1 of them actually books you. That is how that's like literally the difference in the numbers. And it comes that's with all aspects of business, not just the speaking business. If you're building up, let's say, your email list to sell online programs, here's how it works. You build up an email list of 10,000 people. Only 1,000 of them open the email. Only 200 of them click on a link to the email, only 10 of them buy whatever it is you're selling out of 10,000 people. That's literally how the numbers work. And so it's not that you're doing anything wrong. You just have to understand how the numbers work in any business. And so in terms of actually getting people to click, it really comes down to what you do beforehand. So you got to think in terms of if something is wrong here, is because you did something wrong here. So think of it like dating, right? So when it comes to dating, if a guy or girl, whoever's talking to each other, let's say the guy talking to a girl and the guy says, "Can I get your number?" Right? He's like, "Oh, what's your number?" And then the girl's like, "I got a boyfriend," right? She uses that line, "I got a boyfriend," right? It wasn't the moment he asked for her number where the problem occurred. It was everything before that. It was the conversation. She didn't feel the conversation, whatever it is. It was everything before that. And so when he asked for the number, that's when he got confused. He's like, did I ask for it wrong? Like, should I maybe have done it differently? Maybe next time I'll ask for a phone and I'll just put my number in there. Or maybe I'll just pull out my phone and then hand her the phone. Or like, right? And so he's thinking about that, whereas he should be thinking about what he did beforehand. And so the same goes with you getting on a stage in terms of getting people to click on the link to your website. It's not about what can I do in terms of on the website. Like, is there maybe some special thumbnail? Maybe I say, click on this, or I'm going to send the mob to you or whatever. It's not anything you do there. It's everything you do before that. And then also understand that they're just not ready yet as well. So you got to understand all that's going on. All right. So Reggie said, crap, I sent YouTube links this week. Yeah, you sent YouTube links. It's probably my video that's popping up too. They're probably hiring me over you because you sent the YouTube link and my video showed up. Asad said, no more YouTube videos. Yeah. Asad, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, no more YouTube videos. I'm telling you guys, you have some strategic mofos like me who will take advantage of that stuff. All right, so we got, it says only January 2019. I refuse to start the year by getting pimp slapped. All right, no more YouTube links. Yep, exactly. All right, so let's see. A while ago, you talked about creating cool thumbnails. Is there a specific video on the Speak Pro website so I can watch it again? It's actually not even on the so I'll John, post that inside of the group and I'll send you a link to the thumbnails. Ultimately, the thumbnails, it really comes down to the way I create all my thumbnails is with the phone apps. Like, I just download phone apps. I just type in photo editor inside the phone apps. I just play around with it and I'm like, oh, this looks cool. That's literally what I do in terms of that. If you want, you can just hire a graphic designer, and the graphic designer can create a really cool thumbnail for your demo. In fact, I'd probably recommend that because you can create thumbnails in terms of like your YouTube video, stuff like that. But remember, on your website, everything counts. So it's best to just pay a graphic designer $50 for a great thumbnail image than for you to have a horrible looking thumbnail image. So it's better to do that. And you just pay them the one time $50 for your demo video, and you can create thumbnails for all the other videos if you want. But that's ultimately what I would do there. All right. So let's see. All right. Any other final questions before we are done for today? We got like a few seconds here. A couple minutes left. Let's see. Any other final questions? I'll wait a few seconds. Well, I guess we are good to go for today. So remember, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, we're doing these Facebook Live sessions. I do want to stress that if you guys watch on Instagram, you want to follow both of my pages. You want to follow the Benji Bruce page, so official Benji Bruce, and then also follow official Speaking Lifestyle, because I do an Instagram Live every day, but I don't know which page I'm going to do it on. So like, it depends on what the topic is about. So if the topic is about like speaker stuff, literally just for speakers, like a speaker demo reel, it's going to be on the Speaking Lifestyle page. If the topic is more motivational, can apply to everybody, it's going to be on the Benji Bruce page. So if you guys want to follow on Instagram, you can do that. Remember, to all you Speak Pro Academy peeps, keep posting inside the group. If you guys aren't Speak Pro members, make sure you join Speak Pro. There's tons of resources in there for you guys. All right, so let's see. He said, how do we see other Speak Pro websites? I don't know. I don't know. I guess you can ask them. I don't know. In terms of websites, it's important if you want to look at good websites, just go to themeforce.net, go to the WordPress section, and just look at the websites there and just see what the professional designers did with their websites. When it comes to your website, ultimately, I think the way I got good at websites is that's literally what I did. So let me show you what I mean. So if you were to go to themeforce.net, so here's what I would do all the time. I literally went here almost every day for the longest time. So I go to themeforce.net, I click on WordPress here, and I would just look to see like what designs did these professionals make. So I would just look at all these. I would actually click on a couple. So let's click on this one. So I click on this, I do a live preview, and I would literally just kind of look to see what did they do, like how did they structure it, all that sort of stuff. That's all I would do. And then eventually you kind of get a feel for what looks cool and what doesn't look cool. Like you just get a feel for it, right? So let's click on this one here. Let's see what does this look like. And literally I would do this all the time. So there we go. So see like this. Oh, this is cool as hell. See, I move the mouse. It goes back and forth. That's cool as all hell. Right. So here, and then see like there's the image of him. It's a nice professional image. So like little things like that. And then here how it's like a diagonal thing. So I will look at things like this and how these right here, I don't know if these are images or what is it? This is a portfolio maybe, but it overlaps on the purple part. I'm like, oh, that looks cool as all hell. So I picture this. I picture my pictures here from like a crowd type thing. And I'm like, all right, this would be cool if I just posted pictures or even videos of the crowds type thing, right? So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just looking at what professionals did with their websites, and I'm just getting ideas. And on top of that, I'm getting ideas for images too. It's like here, see this image of this guy where it's just, or a guy, girl, I don't know if that's guy, girl, but there's an eye right there and it's peeking through this yellow thing. It's like torn through. Like that looks cool. So I'm thinking, how can I create something like that? So that's literally what I do. And I tell you, for the longest time, I literally would look at websites on ThemeForest all the time. And I would just see what the professionals did in terms of the websites. It's really important that with websites, you can keep doing that, but you still need to actually design your website and then keep updating it nonstop. Because I guarantee you, here's what's going to happen with your website. You're going to look at someone else's website and be like, that's bomb as all hell. I'm going to duplicate that thing, right? And you're going to try to duplicate it. Then it's going to look nothing like their website. It'll look... You may have a similar layout, but it's going to still look like crap compared to the original website that you tried to duplicate. And so the reason is just because like you don't have the images the right way. It's going to be all the little details in terms of why it doesn't work, right? And so that's why what you do is you design your website. You can get ideas or whatever. You design the website, but you keep improving it over and over and over again. You keep going in there and like, all right, so the image, maybe I'll include a shadow here this time. And so you keep doing that. So that's what you're doing. It's like any skill. The first time you do it, you always suck at it. There's no way you can be good at any skill from the very get-go. So the first time you suck at it, so you just keep doing it more and more and more. You keep practicing more and more, and then bam, before you know it, it's just really good. So it's like Alio's website, right? Alio, when he first joined the Speak Pro Academy, I was like, dang, man, your website's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. Come on. And then he worked on his website. I'm like, all right, that's better. And then I was like, then he kept working on his website. I was like, oh, that's even better. And then he kept working on it. Oh, that's even better than last time. That's even better than last. Oh, damn, it's bomb now, right? So that's what happened with Alio. So like he kept improving it just as time went on. And it's just like practicing. You think in terms of practice. Practice with your website, you practice with your outreach, you practice with everything. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And then on top of that, this is why if you're not a Speak Pro member, you got to join because you need that feedback because you don't see what you're doing wrong. That's a problem. So you can't see it. There's no possible way you can see what you're doing wrong. Otherwise, if you did, you wouldn't do it. Like you wouldn't do anything wrong. And so this is why, like, if you're not a Speak Pro Academy member, there's a lot of things you're doing wrong and you can't see what you're doing wrong. That is why you're not getting hired. The number one thing that I see speakers do wrong that they don't know they're doing wrong is how they talk to people, like how they have email conversations. Everybody does it wrong. There isn't a single person I've seen ever do it right. Like not one. With websites, there are a couple speakers I'm like, oh, that's actually a pretty good website, right? So there's a couple speakers like that. And then on top of that, speakers understand, oh yeah, I need to improve my website, right? I need to have a better website. Like you understand that. You may not know how to do it, but you understand it. On the other hand, it's the unknown. And this is what I talk about in terms of sounding in demand. Every single speaker, every single one does not sound in demand when they have email conversations. Everybody, literally everyone. And it's because it's an unknown. You don't know that you're doing it wrong, so there's no reason you're going to change what you're doing. And so that's why you have to truly like get the feedback and everything in terms of what it is you're doing. All right. So we are good to go for today. I will see you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time. So take care, everybody. And make sure you guys keep asking all the questions. Just questions galore. However many questions you got, just keep asking them. And then I'll just keep answering them until 10 a.m. Pacific time. So I'll see you guys 9 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. Take care, everybody.